Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. As per usual, everybody, I'm going to read out our statement of agreement. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on our beautiful planet. And so here's our agreement of how we meet together as a community today before we launch into anything. Welcome to this ASI community gathering. We're very glad that you took the time to come and speak with each other today. These community webinars are here to support us, our own membership, and friends, and the mission of spiritual integrity. We ask you all to stay connected, accountable, sensitive, and skillful when engaging today. We ask that you agree to create and maintain safe space for learning and growth. To that end, let's all refrain from marketing or self-aggrandizing while avoiding inflammatory or deliberately destructive comments. If you want to recommend a relevant and appropriate resource to attendees, please do so in the chat box. If you have advice, feedback, or suggestions for another attendee, please ask for their consent before offering it during your share. Enjoy, and let's see what we can learn and discover around peer support. We are lightly facilitated by Kimberly Lafferty, who is a special advisor to the ASI. And welcome, Kimberly, and
Hey,
take it
it's
away.
thanks, Jack. It's great to be here in my favorite nonprofit, my favorite community, and welcome to all of you. I see you, Tom and Tim and Catherine and Amelia and Tony and Robin and C and Heather and Julie and all the rest. And I'm just delighted that you are here. And welcome as well to those of you who are listening in the future. So I do want to begin of just creating the container together of awareness. So just for a couple of minutes, I invite you to have a soft gaze or even close your eyes if you'd like, and become aware of just a place in your body, in the eye of you. Just become aware of a place in your body as you ground yourself into this present moment. And then simultaneously, I invite you to become aware of a point in space between us all, aware of a place in your body, grounding you in presence, as well as a space between us all, in the center of the circle that we hold in our we space together. And you may even get a taste of what that we space tastes like, or a feel for what that we space feels like. Bringing deep presence and attunement as well to our we space. Feeling us all connected throughout literal time and space in different times and places, but yet together in this very moment. And let's land ourselves here by going ahead and putting your location in the chat box. You all know I love, some of you know anyway, I love an active chat box. Feel free to utilize it, to comment, to reflect, to ask questions in the chat box. So where are you in time and space? I'm in the North Cascades of Washington State right now, feeling myself grounded here and yet connected to all of you at the same time. We've got New Jersey and Victoria, BC, and Southern Colorado, Pioneer Town, California, North Carolina, Minnesota, the Catskills, New Mexico, Romania, Is it tomorrow there or yesterday? Hmm. Yeah, all over. I know some of us are in Hawaii, and isn't that a miracle in itself that we can all meet in this time and space? Thank you for that. So today we're discussing, as spiritual teachers and leaders, what support do we need? What support are we getting? What support are we not getting? Many beings on the planet right now consider this unprecedented times. Anybody feel like it's a particularly challenging time in your world? Just give me some body, give me some response with your body if you feel that way. Okay, some of us do. Okay, I saw a little movement there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, it's kind of a challenging time, right, for some people. And my own personal belief system, I'll just, claim it as that, is that spiritual awakening, whatever it is, whatever domain, whatever your discipline, whatever your meaning making or belief systems around that, spiritual awakening and spiritual practice and spiritual community is, I won't go so fundamentally far to call it the answer, but it is a very important answer to the issues of our times and the meta crisis that many of us experience we are facing. And so it's ever more important that spiritual leaders and teachers step out, do the work, be accountable, and get the support that they need. So, as we go through the next 90 minutes, this is what we're going to be exploring together. And fortunately, I'll give you a carrot if you stay till the end. The ASI has been working for years, that is not hyperbole, years to develop extraordinary support systems, and we have some available for you. So, we'll get there. But for now, let's just do a temperature check of where you are. How are you? And let me just open it up to the field and ask you the question, what kind of support do you get as a spiritual teacher? Do you not get? What do you need? That's a three-part question in there. But when I say that to you, what comes up for you around this topic of support for spiritual leaders and teachers? Does it exist or not? So I'll open it up to your wisdom. Go ahead and raise your hand or just take yourself on mute. And we'd love to hear from you. What does support look like for spiritual teachers and leaders? Don't be shy. Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome. The thing that I see the most in my world is that I have had to create that support for myself. Um, and I moved to a small. I lived in Austin, Texas, for 40 years, and I moved to a small town in Asheboro, North Carolina, where there is a small ashram where I, kind of belong to that spiritual path to a certain degree, and I get support there, and um, I, I get support. I have support from Jack, and I get support. I think I have to find. You have to create it, really, and so to have this organization where you could actually get it as its intent to provide that is is I think sort of, maybe revolutionary. I don't know. But yeah, but since I have started on a spiritual path, I've found that because of my intention and where I want to go, I've had so many things just show up um, that are minor miracles, really. And I'm really grateful for it.
Mm, thank you, Mary.
Yeah, thank you.
Jonathan, love to hear from you.
For about 20 years, I lived in a spiritual community and there was a lot of support there. And then I left about 10 years ago. I was wondering how I would get support. And one thing I did is, when you're in this field, you tend to have spiritual friends. So I told them all to tell me anything that they ever thought I was doing wrong or hurtful or I might not be aware of. And that I really valued that kind of feedback. Um, and then sometimes I formalize it, like I just had a birthday. I invited a lot of friends, and I said instead of gifts, I'd like a card in which you express one thing that you think I do really well and one thing that you think I need to work on or you feel like is a blind spot for me. So I have those cards, and that has been very supportive to prevent me from maybe going in a direction that would be unhelpful for me or others.
Mm, hmm. And Jonathan, you're speaking as a spiritual teacher or leader, may I ask? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
On that.
also, I do go to workshops in which there's support there.
Mhm.
So that's another avenue of uh, getting support. And the difficulty is that when people think of you as a spiritual teacher, they often put you on a pedestal and don't give you that feedback, as you know. So I make a concerted effort to be vulnerable in such situations so that people don't think I have everything together.
Mm, thank you for that. And if I can comment, and please everyone jump in, but there's something so powerful in that of being willing as a teacher and a leader to get feedback is so essential for support. I tell my students and friends, don't go to a spiritual teacher that isn't getting some sort of feedback, isn't in therapy when needed, doesn't have a peer review or peer support process for themselves, because it just ends up being an echo chamber, right? An echo chamber of your own community, an echo chamber of your own discipline, your own domain. And then what ends up happening? We know we've done lots of community conversations on shadow, right? If we don't get that feedback from others and we aren't open to it, it can get kicked down the road and disasters tend to happen, right? So thank you for that. And support, I also love that because support looks like self-care, vulnerability, a place to share, a place to get, proverbial back rubs. And it also looks like challenge. Support looks like challenge also. It looks like feedback also. So I really appreciate you bringing that out. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind sharing. I noticed my share button's not working, so I'm just going to speak out. Was I not to share?
Perfect. Go for it, Catherine.
Okay. Because there's so much corruption coming up right now, especially in your country. I'm in Canada, so we're kind of watching as it goes on, which is extremely positive and exciting because the underbellies is being exposed, right? And we're finally now having it's kind of a metaphor on people using their speaking, using their sharing, standing up for what they are. It just, really warms my heart to see the Americans actually going for it. And it's, how it plays out is how it will play out. But I think it really speaks to what we're talking about right now and what you just said, actually, that corruption and imbalance is a very creative force if you choose to use it that way. So you have to step out of your fear. So if you're in your fear about it, then your equilibrium is off. So the whole thing is, how do you get your equilibrium to match up with what the universe is saying for you to show up for? Hey, it's happening. So if you're not feeling balanced in both, I would say, love, which I come from the Christian religion, Christ consciousness, all heart centered, and then the non-duality, which is very wisdom teachings. So one's one needs the other. And I think that equilibrium, the coming together now of different religions, different paths, that they all stop and say, what's the middle core part in all of that? That we all can now rise up and have a voice that can really move, that can be so exciting. It can be like lots of days I feel like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It's like, you're never going to win, and we might as well jump off the cliff, and it's exciting, and you're never going to make it. You're going to die. And yet, uh, in that movie, it was like, this is exciting. We're going to make our last breath fun because the jump's going to kill you. I mean, that's kind of a little bit not quite centered, but it brings the humor in. And I think the funny about it, if it's not there, then we're not balanced, because then we're too serious, right? I mean, it's how you look at it. And for me personally, I mean, I've used Jack just recently to help me in a very difficult place where corruption is very high. And I had asked myself, am I choosing this again? Why is this coming around again in my life, like so many times? And it's like a part of me struggle with it. Am I calling this corruption in, or am I called to it? Which is it? Is it just happening anyway and I'm being called to it? Or is it me going, God, Catherine, you sure know how to create trouble, don't you? You got another mess going on here. And it's like, that's where I'm at with it. There's no right answer to it, because I can, after talking to Jack, easily step away from this battle, because where within you is this coming from, right? And if it's coming from a centered equilibrium place where I feel like this is the most exciting, this is why I was called, this is why I'm here in this world, this is it, this is the moment. And I think a lot of people are talking that way, right? This is what we were brought here for. Or are you just using that to feed some little shadow part that says, different things, doesn't matter what it says, it's a shadow part. So those are the things I bring to the party here today. And I would like to see it be a party, because hey, why not? Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. Party on. Yes, let's go. I appreciate the humor so much as well. I need more of that in my life. Amara, yes, you had your hand up. There we go.
Yeah. So as Jonathan was speaking, it occurred to me what I call 360-degree feedback, asking for that full picture. What I received, and I hadn't really realized this before, is that gives us a freedom within that. It's kind of like a safety net. That feedback is a safety net that allows us to stretch ourselves even more than we would. Like for me, I can only speak for myself. I might tend to hold myself back for fear of messing up, where I could probably use some stretching. So having that feedback as support is it can help us grow in our practice. That's what I was seeing. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Hmm. As spiritual leaders and teachers, whatever way that emerges for you, do you find it easy to ask for support when you're feeling vulnerable? Aren't you supposed to have it all together and have all the answers? Or is it just me? Mara, is your hand still up? Okay, Julie, love to hear from you.
Thank you, Kimberly, and thank you guys for putting together this forum for us to get together and share. Not sure. I may ramble a little because I'm not sure exactly what I'm. I don't have a clear um, path to what I would like to say. But first of all, it is imperative that spiritual teachers, leaders, have some form of support. Um, and that is always difficult to find. It's not just for accountability in terms of let's make sure I'm not veering off into egoic tendencies. You know, it's that is important. But more than that, it's you also need the support of your peers during challenging times, not just personal, but also when we experience them as a collective. For example, the times we're experiencing now. To Catherine's point, she mentioned about being here during some of us feel that we were meant to be here at this time. I don't believe that that's egoic. I do believe that we chose to be here to assist, to hold the space for and to share the wisdom that is meant to be heard during this time. And so that is the kind of support that would be nice to be able to have. I find myself, yes, sometimes we have to create it, but along with trying to create, manage your own life, manage businesses, the things that it takes to manage your practice, business or practice, whatever term, trying to manage all that could be difficult for you to create that support. So for me personally, it's been rather challenging because it would be really beautiful to be able to meet around in sacred circle with like-minded souls who know that we're here to hold that space. And that again, I'm not saying that from an egoic perspective. I'm sure there are many people doing some form of spiritual work who could be doing something else, but they're doing it because they heard that higher calling and answered. They said yes. So, you know, we're here to help hold that space and share, uh, uh, be of support during these very tumultuous times. And it would be good if we could be supporting each other. And so, maybe above and beyond the programs that I've seen the association currently creating, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to create like support circles where it's simply for members of like minds to get together to support each other through whatever challenges they're facing, or not even challenges, but just to sit around that fire and have some fun, have a fun discussion, you know. Um, because even though some of the topics we are currently and things we are currently facing are very challenging, we have a sense of humor. We could make fun. We could really just have some levity, bring some levity to the table,
Mhm.
and uh, support each other in that way, lift each other up in that way. And then who knows? Maybe it goes beyond that. Maybe it goes into supporting each other with each other's work. And I would be happy to participate in something like that if that doesn't already exist. I would be open to participate in any way if that's something you all would be open to. So I think that's kind of, yeah, the need for support is there, is I guess what I'm saying. I don't have any. I have to go find it, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
Mhm.
So
Thank you so much, Julie.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Yes. Well, the ASI has been piloting peer support circles and is launching peer support circles, which was the carrot that I mentioned, which we'll get into all the details of that. And that is really available to us all. And we're going to practice what that might look like in a breakout room in a little bit. One of the values of having that support you identified so beautifully, Julie, is that yes, it's for the feedback and it's for the rejoicing, it's for the levity, it's for being together with like-minded souls who often come from totally different disciplines. My own peer support circle had an academic, had an ex-LDS person, had me as, an Indo-Tibetan Vajrayana psychologist practitioner, had an alternative spiritual leader, undefinable, had what was the other one? A unity minister. And it was that diverse. And yet, just speaking vulnerably in this safe space, I feel in that group so seen and understood, even though what we're studying and what we're doing might be quite different. There's a sense of seeing and being seen, which is so healing and wonderful and brings accountability and strength. And I would walk away from those gatherings a better spiritual teacher and leader for my own people. Because is it appropriate to go to students and ask for that sort of support? Maybe there's some exceptions, but probably not, right? Is it always appropriate to go to your own spiritual, if you have somebody higher than you in an organization, quote, higher than you, are they always going to support you? Or is that maybe you have an issue with the organization, right? So then how do you find it? Well, we're here to help you with that. Other thoughts? Yes, Jack, please jump in.
Yeah, for me, I need both at this stage. I need both personal support and I need group support. I don't have any in-depth analysis of how they're different to each other, but I need both to stay steady. I suppose, like in the one-to-one support, whether it's therapy or with actually there is another spiritual teacher who's a psychologist who is he's a fantastic support for me one-to-one, deeper than what any therapist can go. Even though I jump into that too, into paid therapy if that's what's needed. Um, and that gives you an opportunity to really unravel yourself because you're in the center of it. But with groups, and like the group that I'm part of at the minute, I'm the only actual spiritual leader. Everybody else is in social justice, you know, with a strong spiritual, everybody has a strong spiritual practice, but I don't know what they are. But we know that we share spirituality, but social justice is the bond. That group I love. I love. And it'll shift again. Maybe it's got to do with, the political crisis that we're in right now in the US. But there's something about the energy of a group where it becomes less about the me story and the energetics. It's like in that particular group, yeah, there's something about the energetics of the group holding each other and by being witnessed by more than one. There's something in that that allows you to just really to get as big as your own light is. And that to be held, that's really important. For me as a figurehead of an organization that is a community, there's something about allowing myself to get really big in a completely safe environment. That's hugely important. So I definitely need a group thing more than the personal space. I need both.
Let's see. Tabe, am I saying that correctly? Love to hear from you. Thanks, Jack.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Ita Bay is my name. Well, I'll just start by saying I had this impulse when the group first started to jump off because I thought, okay, spiritual leaders and teachers, I don't call myself that. So let me just, back out right now. But the reason I stayed is because I can feel that in my work as a teacher and in the way in which the nature of what I teach and how I teach always involves this, listening into the silence, listening into, dropping into that field of the unknown and letting what wants to come through that space. And so I've been holding a circle now for about almost 2 years. And the weight, I have a personal spiritual practice, but I could feel that there is something happening. There's a weight of a kind of spiritual weight of holding space in this way. And I realized that it was kind of similar to what you said, Kimberly, about, where can we look for support? It wasn't like clinical supervision, for example. That didn't feel like, oh, that's what I need right now. It really felt like there's a way in which I'm holding space, and there's a way in which I experience how it's directly connected to my own spiritual journey. That intersection in my own, like in the structures that I have for support, that's not met. And so when I heard about this call in the circles, I felt the pull to come, even though I wouldn't at first want to call myself a particular, give myself a particular title beyond, the teaching that I do. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And you really touched on something very profound. And I can hear, for me, and I hear the spiritual depth coming through in whatever capacity you are as a teacher. And we hold self-defining as spiritual teachers and leaders very loosely. So I'm so glad that you stayed and applaud you staying. So thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? If you feel the tug to speak, please do. Somebody might really need to hear it. Tom.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here with me today. That already feels like a big support. I'm feeling this a distinction, not a dichotomy, but a distinction between individual support and group support. I know that my history is that individual support can be a very tricky place for me. I've sought out support with use of drugs in the past. I've sought out support in relationships that weren't particularly healthy for me or my partner, trying to fill some kind of void that I perceived in myself. and that perception of void has largely gone away for me at this point. And one of the things that has emerged in its place is something about group interaction. What I found is that I guess it was Wordsworth who said, I am a multitude. There's this crowd in me that is clamoring for uh, recognition, time, space, the stage, to work out this or that aspects of my um, spiritual congregation that resides in here. And I can often see best reflected when I join in with other people. Uh, so what I'm looking for right now is to have a group that supports, the partying Tom, that supports the downer Tom, that supports the generous Tom, that supports the greedy Tom. And in that practice, in that process, begin to become acquainted with things that seem to work not only for me, but for everyone around me. And so what I'm feeling is a warmth in being encouraged to be challenged, to see what supports creativity, life-enhancing practices, and to be mirrored when I'm practicing things that are really life-destructive and help me to turn away from those things. And this gathering today feels really life-supporting for me. So I thank you all. That's it.
Oh, Tom, thank you. I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. The party, Tom, and the rest. Yes. Thank you for that. And as we all are here for it. So let's practice a little bit, shall we? Let's go into a little bit of practice together. We're going to go into breakout rooms. And if you're one of those people that wants to exit on the breakout rooms, I encourage you to follow the examples we've had today and stay. Stay with us and come back to us, okay? So you're going to go into small groups and we're going to practice what a group support might look like, which is what the ASI is, thank all the gods, providing now and providing after many years of work a space for these small groups exactly like we're talking about. And we'll get to the details of that. So I invite you into your breakout groups and I invite you, let's give you a frame of let's share one thing we're very excited about in whatever our work is right now with your little group, and perhaps one thing that is most challenging for you in your work, as ever you define it right now, or maybe it's your personal life too, right? Because if you're like me, it's hard to different, they become one thing more and more. So one thing that's really particularly challenging for you right now, and one thing that you really is going well and you're rejoicing and you're excited about. A reminder that these are confidential. We hold confidential space. And can I all just get some sort of physical movement that we can all hold confidentiality together? Thank you for the embodiment, even raising an eyebrow. Wink. Yes, good. Okay. We're going to hold confidentiality and it won't leave the circle. And let's go in. Renata, are we ready for this? Okay. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Taking a big breath with you, coming back together into this wee space. And, I always am a little FOMO that I miss all those rooms. So Let's do some gleaning of the jewels, mining of the jewels. What did you notice? What came up for you? Maybe your tongue is still loaded with something that you'd like to say or is left unsaid. Let's sort of access our generosity of words and share what that was like for you or what you noticed or any themes. Heather, are you waving your hand or am I just calling on you? No, okay. She's got her fingers moving. I'll come back to you, Heather. Tom? Tom Leyland. Oh, do I hear
So
you? There we go.
what I noticed I really enjoyed our time together. If I, compare it to some situations that I find myself in, say, meeting at a coffee shop or something, we can dance around with, how's the weather, did you get your snow tires put on? And may eventually get into some other things that are stirring for me, but with this group, felt perfectly comfortable just jumping right into, well, this is what's really exciting for me right now. And here's a challenge that I'm faced with. I didn't find myself really looking for answers. It was just so nice to be able to just immediately share those feelings and the specifics of those feelings.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm singing. My subtle body is singing along with that. Hafiz,
Um, I I realized that in slightly repressing my neurodivergent tendency to just core dump wherever there's space, that um, the need for community and how this culture does everything it can to separate us and promote this damnable hyper individualism that just pervades this culture from one end to the next, and how toxic that can be. And so um, I think the resonant point in my little triad was just, yeah, just being humans together, in spite of, all of the different roles and uh, different traditions or no tradition and the different titles and um, all of that stuff that we generally use to separate ourselves from each other and from our own depth.
Mm. Mm. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, and yes. Atibe?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'll say is I'm grateful for the part of for the part of me who knew, oops, I'm frozen.
You're frozen, but we can hear you.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the part of me who knew this would be a good idea because I landed in that little group and I realized how much I have, like how much, like there's this whole realm of connection as a teacher in this domain that I just haven't been, getting support around. And I didn't even realize that, So in some ways you get so used to your teaching role that you can kind of, and then you realize, oh, well, yeah, I've got these things going on. It'd be nice. I guess I could have, but anyway, so I could feel, oh, wait, this is an opportunity for all of that stuff that I've been carrying around, all the things I've been thinking about, all the spaces that are great mysteries to me that I can't talk about with my students. So thank you. It was a, it's a surprise for me. Mhm.
Wonderful. So delighted. Thanks for sharing that. Carol.
Thank you, and thank you for saying it right. So I came in late. I didn't come in until 11:35. I looked at the clock and went, "Oh no." Excuse me. So I only heard a few sentences before we were tossed into the breakout room. Uh, excuse me. So that was quite an interesting experience. I was in with Tony, and we actually bonded over weather. My camera wasn't working, so I had to switch cameras. It was real fuzzy, and I said it's because it's raining here in Seattle, and he's actually from not far from here, even though he's on the East Coast now. So to me, that's one of the things I love about community is community. It is a small world. He might be 3,000 miles away, but he knows the area I'm from. I know the area he's at now. And that just brings everyone together. I never called it the COVID years. I called it the Zoom years because we got to meet people from all over the world. And I want to thank you for having this today because it's wonderful that connection. We can do our own little gigs in our own little areas, but to know there's others out there like us or similar to us doing the best they can, doing the same thing we're doing, just makes this a lot easier in my reality anyway. So thank you for that. And thank you, Tony. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Aw. Thank you. Well, that relates to something I was feeling too, even coming onto this community group is such a sense of immediate love and feeling like I'm with my people. And I don't know most of you, right? But I know you. I feel like I know you. And it's a wonderful connection to be able to be completely human with each other and having our own divinity, seeing the divinity in each other just foregrounded naturally. And that's pretty special. Yeah.
I'd like
Well,
to
yeah,
I'd like
jump
to
in.
add real quick that I'm
Yeah.
also the quiet one. For me to speak first with Tony and now in the group, that's very unusual for me because I'm usually the wallflower that sits back and listens to everybody else. So I want to know you to know that I do feel comfortable enough, even after a few minutes, to speak up, which is not my norm. So
Aw.
thank you for that.
Aw, that's wonderful. Well, how we hold that space and that field with our minds, hearts, bodies, with the earth, with the sky, and everything in between is something that sometimes happens naturally and also can be learned and taught and cultivated. This weekend, the ASI is offering a facilitators training for our new uh, launched peer support circles that we invite you all to participate in. You got a taste of it just now, and you can feel it even in this room together, whether you want to be a facilitator or not. It's a wonderful training to take to come and learn how to reflectively listen, how to give feedback when and if appropriate, how to hold space, how to catch our own projections, how to hold each other in both our beautiful, zesty humanness and our divinity at the same time, and how these are not contradictions. So I want to invite those of you who have participated, some of you are here who have participated in the pilots we've been doing the last 3, 4, 5, is it? Tom Murray, years of we tested out how to do these circles and peer group support circles well, and a lot of time and effort went into it, and we learned a lot. So I already name checked one of you, but I invite you, if you would like, to jump on in and tell us a little bit about what that experience has been like for you. Those of you who have done it. Tom Murray, can I out you?
Yeah, you want me to say something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I started out facilitating a group, and we quickly transitioned into just shared facilitation. And we kept going for several years, and we got to experience each other's life stories together, jobs coming and going, relationships, teaching struggles, elations, depressions, and it was really important. really important experience for all of us, I believe. So the groups that we set up are meant to last for, what is it, 8 sessions over 4 months. And some groups do keep going. Yeah. Anything else, Kimberly, you want me to touch on from?
That sounded good. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun also. It's been
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom. And come on back if something arises. Just come on back to us. Yeah. Amara, would you like to share?
Yeah, I would. I was in a circle for the second pilot, as well as being the Zoom Fairy coordinator and trainer, which I'm doing this time as well. And boy, I did not, similar to Atabi, I think that's how her name is pronounced. I didn't know I needed it until I was in it. That was very clear from the outset. And there's just there, boy, there's so many things I could say about it. One thing I realized in our little breakout here with Richard and Tom, I touched on how important the timed shares were to me, because I'm one to not ordinarily take up space. And so to have this space offered, and what we agreed on in our group, so much of the group, or the circle, um, tenants are offered, but then we can also choose to bring in other norms for the group. And one of our norms is your time is your time, and we just watch the clock run out. If you're done, and if you feel done, if you think you're done, we're going to go ahead and give you the rest of your time. And for that felt so spacious and empowering in a way. It was very interesting experience. And that's just one little thing. To be in a space where there's no need to fix. We're not in a place of fixing at all. Of just being and hearing ourselves saying what we need to hear. That would happen a lot. I would take the space to actually not even think about what I was going to share before the circle, and just see what happens in this very special container appears. I would really surprise myself often with what would come out. And so it's that so much. My my yeah, my hearing what I didn't know that I needed to say and to hear myself. Um, and I have to say, I knew once those 8 weeks were over, and we all have the option to continue our group, but my group, several people were in transition, so it didn't get to continue. I voted to keep going, so I ended up drawing some friends together who were spiritual teachers, leaders, who I knew, and it ended up being a women's group. And and it actually wasn't even my idea. It was Renata's idea. She's here. It was a beautiful idea, Renata. But what I'm realizing, it is a women's group, and we're all on the same page, and which is it could be a beautiful thing. But what I got from the ASI circles and how they all land is the diversity. There was more diversity in the ASI group, and we wouldn't have been able to create a group ourselves without that experience of doing the ASI peer support. Wondering if there's anything else. You see, I've learned to take up space.
Hey, you go, girl.
um, let's see. Yeah, also the gift of Zoom, right? I mean, you can't tell from where I sit, but I live quite remotely. And even when I go into town, it's a tiny town. So there's no chance I'm going to get in anything like this. Especially with the diversity I mentioned locally. And I'm grateful that peer support is happening again and that I get to participate as a trainer and be part of this gift that it is.
Hmm.
So I think that's it for now. I know there's so much more, but I don't want to take up more space.
Oh, that's
Okay.
so beautiful. That's so
Okay.
beautiful.
There's
And you brought out, even hearing you, this is a great example. Hearing you reflect brought out something that is so obvious to me that I miss it, yet it's so important, which is peer groups and these circles. Imagine all of these different domains, non-domains, spiritual traditions, non-traditions, and we're not there to talk at each other or teach each other or lecture each other or get agreement on what ultimate reality is or isn't, or somehow align in the culture wars of belief systems. We don't even, it doesn't even matter. It's just realness. We're being real with each other. It's a place to be real. I didn't give lectures on emptiness, as far as I remember. Somebody here could correct me if that's not right. I wasn't there to be the teacher, and I could put that aside and yet not put it aside. Be also fully myself, and that's part of me too. That awakening is something unabashedly a part of me too. And that's so beautiful. I mean, that is an act of truth in this world right now, right? So, really beautiful. Tom?
Hi, I was a member of the first cohort of peer support. It was funny, I was put in a small group with one of my circle members from that first cohort. Anyway, I did not choose to continue that peer support circle and chose to try to begin create a peer support group within my community. I'm a Zen teacher, and in the Maizumi Roshi, Bernie Glassman, White Plum lineage. And I really wanted to begin to have peer support within my community rather than try to find it somewhere else. And it was a very interesting process. I started one day a week for sharing in community. Nobody had to come to that. Many people felt that it was required and preferred having the dogma over a sharing time. And our group blew up for a while. I maintained communication with folks, apologizing to them to learn, are there things that I did during this breakup that impacted folks negatively, and how might I improve that? And over a period of about 7 months, everybody got the opportunity to, I think, look within and decide what was really important for each of us. And we've come back together. A couple of people have stayed away. My impression is that we've come back in a much more non-hierarchical fashion. And it feels much better, at least for me. Folks share that it feels better for them as well. And we are all now sharing, I think, more vulnerably about our responsibilities to each other as a community. So there was pain for a while, and now I'm feeling much greater pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And also this will be addressed in the training, I'm sure, how we deal with conflict, how we deal with this. And I'm just, again, so touched that the repair was there, that the repair was there. And that too is an act of truth in this world, that we can stay and repair and learn with each other and hold each other through that. Yeah. Yeah. Amelia, would you like to share something about your experience?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I'm not a spiritual teacher, and I didn't experience the pilots until now, but I am a long year seeker, and I experienced. So I helped a lot of teachers to organize events. It happened that I was in the last 10 years a lot working for different teachers. So I saw in my experience what happens when the teacher doesn't have this space, how it goes wrong. So that's why I love so much that this exists. So now, since a while, I volunteered for this project, and now I am coordinating, working for ASI, and honored to be behind the emails writing and being there if you want to support. And yeah, so happy to do that. Yeah.
Thank you for your service and all of your support, which we so desperately need. Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Okay, well, we have about, what is that, 7-ish minutes left, and I want to get some logistical information for you all, so you can take this with you if you would like to join the facilitators training, which is not just for facilitators this weekend. Registration closes on Wednesday. If you'd like to join, be set up with a peer support group, you sign up for it and you get assigned, and there's this sort of divine magic that happens in the assignations, as you can imagine. So what can we share logistically, ASI team? What do we want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah, the closing date is Wednesday. It is the first paid service that the ASI has ever offered. And that's important to us too. It's like, okay, because it's like, can we keep the lights open this month? The lights on this month. It's like that. You know, we're all doing this voluntary. And so this is an important one for the organization itself to shift into, okay, this is a really good service. We've worked for years with a few pilots. We know that this peer support system is very effective. We can stand over it. And so we're charging $90, which covers your 8 meetings and the training. If somebody is genuinely, that's too much of a financial challenge, or they're in an economy where the US dollar is not on par, then yeah, of course, let us know. Let us know. We're not going to turn anybody away. Even the training alone is something worth going for, you know. Then the person, Amara does the training for Zoom, as she calls herself the Zoom fairy, because there is a little bit of technical, how do I make sure that I'm participating as well as watching the time for everybody to share. There's a little bit of training involved there that Amara does, which is necessary too for people who want to support the facilitator. So there's 2 roles. There's the facilitator and there's the technician, we call them, who manages the Zoom, sends out the links, does a little bit of admin around it. And then the other people in the group don't have one of those roles, but everybody participates equally. Everybody gets equal time. A little bit of magic happens. So I'm just strongly encouraging, help the ASI to be confident that at last we're ready to have a paid service, as well as, you know, just supporting your own community, you know, by making sure that this happens. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jack. Tom?
Yeah, well, first I'll say what a bargain, Jack. It's generous for $90. I'm realizing that I'm not clear on something, and I want to ask you, Jack. Is this training that we're offering for people who intend to participate this round and are also perhaps definitely or maybe interested in also being facilitators? Or is it also open to just anyone who wants to drop in, even if they're not interested in joining the groups this time?
Yeah, good question. So the facilitator training is open to anybody who signs up and pays for the peer support initiative. So they're in terms of participating in the 8 meetings for the next few months. We want to train more people than we need. We want to have a body of facilitators who trained. Because let's say a facilitator is ill. Somebody else in the group said, hey, I did the training. I can hold the space for this meeting. We just want to share the training with as many as we can. But because you do the facilitator training doesn't mean that you will be facilitating your group. That selection and group assignment is a different process. So does that answer it, Tom? Great.
Wonderful.
Quick question. How do the scheduling, is that part of the application process? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Mary Schneider had her hand up there.
Oh, great, Mary, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I messed up. I thought that if I paid the 90, I could get the group. So I didn't know that I could do the training. I thought it was an either or. That's cool. Can you tell me what the hours are this weekend, huh?
Anybody?
Emilia?
Yeah, it's so Saturday it's starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time until 12, and then from 1 to 2:30, and then Sunday morning we will have an like a session. It will be from 8 to 9:30 a.m. So the training itself is on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Awesome.
And
I can
just
do that.
and just to be clear, the Sunday training is for techs. I'll be leading that. It's a short, very short training.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone's interested.
Yeah, for the technician one, it's 11 to 12:30, which is led by Amara later. So on Sunday.
There's 2 sessions Sunday. One is for the techs and one is a follow-up short practice session for the facilitators.
Sorry about that. Didn't know that.
Cool.
We've got many things going on.
Wonderful, wonderful, and beneficial for everybody. All right, we are at time, but Julie, love to hear from you.
Thanks, Kimberly, because I know we're short on time. I just wanted to get a little more clarity on the training. So this is facilitator training so people can do peer support circles on behalf of ASI, or it's training for, I'm not too clear what the training is for. That's what I'm trying to get.
Go ahead, Tom.
What we're aiming for, it's only a day or a bit more than a day, so we're certainly not, it's not enough time to imbue good facilitation skills in someone who's starting from scratch. So our target audience is people who already have group facilitation skills, and we are going to introduce our context and our goals for facilitating these particular groups. I think we're inviting anybody who wants to come, who's interested in how we want to facilitate these groups. But that's what we're going to be aiming towards, is people who already have some group facilitation skills in some sense or other, and we add on top of that. Does that sound right, Jack?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the facilitation skills are useful as a spiritual leader anyway.
Yes.
So, you know,
Yes. Yes. And as a participant in peer circles also, because it does, if it's going well, there somebody needs to hold the boundary, and it will naturally move into, as Tom shared earlier, much more of a co-facilitated space when that the structure is there for the safety to be held. The rules are understood, so they don't even need to be spoken of. And so I do encourage everybody to come if you can. They are, of course, encouraging live attendance. I also recognize it's short notice. They will be recorded and also available, right? Okay. So. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody. Please go ahead and see in the chat box, there is a link to sign up for the ASI peer support groups. Please come. It's a beautiful experience, as I can attest. If this has been beneficial to you, please make a donation to ASI. That is not an exaggeration, that this is an extremely bootstrapped organization. Everybody is here because we're moved by the heart. And so any donation really goes a long way. So thank you for that. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us today.